broadcast. Okay, all right. You're not going to be making a bunch of calls during all the important things I'm about to say? We can tell that. All right, good. Let's take two. All right, good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Central Texas. It's good. We got people all the way in the back. I love that. Yeah. Let's hear it for the balcony. Yeah. All right, here at the center, we think more expansively, love more completely, and live more joyously. I'd like to say a special thank you to Clark for a wonderful meditation for that. Yeah. All right. And let's look at our opening affirmation, which is our top of page 4. We'll say this together to come together in consciousness, and it says, "We believe that there is an infinite power and wisdom that creates everything. We are expressions of the same power and wisdom. The thoughts, beliefs, and expectations we entertain with the most energy become our experience of life. When we change our energy and our attention, our experience changes to match." And a couple of quick announcements. Saturday would be Roy Munn's birthday. Many of you remember Roy. Yeah. Today we are celebrating Chico Marx, Carl Malden, Wilford Bramble. Rush can tell me who that is.
Yeah. The walrus mustache.
He was grandpa in A Hard Day's Night, right?
Oh, no. The wrong guy. Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Here, let me tell Rush here. The one time I can know something, it's not that he didn't know it. He that's the thing about knowing a whole lot of things. You know a whole lot. Anyway, also Werner Kemperer.
Yeah, take Hogan's Heroes.
Colonel Klink.
And a relative to Paul.
Paul McCartney.
Kemperer.
Oh, Klimt Furrer. He's Klimt Furrer. He's Klimt Perver. So it may have been one of those things that got adjusted in the things. But I don't know, maybe, did he tell you that? Or?
Yeah, somebody did.
So, okay, all right. I had the same thought because it's a very similar name. Anywho, and also don't forget Marcel. It wasn't like a spitting image. You didn't get that? Stephen Sondheim. It's theater day today. William Shatner. Danny Ray. You may not know him, but you certainly know his gig. He was the cape man for James Brown. Still gotta come. All right. George Benson, great guitarist. Andrew Lloyd Webber. Matthew Modine and Reese Witherspoon, all people who were born today. Happy birthday. All right, I'd like to invite Clark to come up and do an opening reading and treatment. Yay for that. Through the obstacle course.
Through the obstacle course, yes. And I didn't even trip and fall this time. Okay, so today's reading comes from the book that we're studying on Thursday nights right now, The 5 Steps to Freedom about spiritual mind treatment. And it's by John B. Waterhouse. And this portion of one of the chapters is called Never Ask, Always Know. Spiritual mind treatment is an exercise in knowing who we are. When we know Spirit is all, we can't help but understand that we exist within this oneness. When we know the truth of Spirit, we know the truth of ourselves. Asking implies there is a power separate from us that we must appeal to before we can receive a desired outcome. Knowing, however, implies that the power of Spirit is within and all around us, available for our use right now. In spiritual mind treatment, we first know the truth, then claim it as our own, then use it as our guiding force. So let's take the truth of that into our own treatment right now. and know with me that this divine presence that we are does surround us. It is all of life. It is all form. It is every single form that exists. Whether material, whether spiritual, it's all spirit. And we know that we are this because there is only one mind, and it's divine, and it's our mind right now and always. The life that we have, the life on this whole planet is divine, and it's our life right now. And the power that is ubiquitous, because spirit is infinite. It exists everywhere. It's centered nowhere. I mean, it's centered everywhere, but its circumference is nowhere. And we are a part of that infinity. Let's know it for ourselves. Sure, we are bound in a way to this material plane, which is transitory, and we are eternal. We exist because spirit knows itself through our existence. It lives itself through us, knows itself as us. Therefore, its perfection is our perfection. This or better is always available to us. It is our own empowerment. And we are gifted by the grace of Spirit to create as it does through consciousness. For matter, form, is mind in form. Matter is mind in form. So, knowing that, let us create the highest that we know how to identify with. And we use that power to love and to have peace. For power is necessary for true peace. Not a power to gain, or not a power to use against others, but a power that exists within all to realize their full potential and authenticity. So I give thanks that there is that mind, life, and power. I give thanks for the power of this word and all our words that we speak within or aloud. And knowing that there's a law that corresponds to it, and that we're moving this law, we're directing it to a specific purpose just by knowing it is so. How beautiful. And knowing all that and giving thanks for it, I release this word completely. Having spoken it, it is law, and it is manifesting as our experience in effect right now. No hesitation. Reliably. So giving thanks for that and loving it, I release it completely. And let us say together, and so it is now. And so it is now my pleasure to introduce our musical guest today, Miss Shawnee Kilgore, everyone.
It's so nice to see everybody again. Thank you. I'm going to save my big story of the week for later. This is a song called, it's called Pearl Barley, and it was inspired by a post that my friend Rachel Reese made. She's a wonderful singer-songwriter. And it was just a beautiful post about abundance and gratitude, and she was talking about a meal that she was having of soup and bread and pearled barley. And I thought that was beautiful. I've got soup and bread and pearled barley. I've got soup and bread and pearled barley. I've got soup and bread and pearled barley. Nothing in this world can starve me. Soup, bread, and pearled barley. I've been asked to sing and asked to listen. I've been asked to sing and asked to listen. I've been asked to sing and asked to listen. Watched it bloom to soft fruition. Asked to sing and asked to listen. Hallelujah. In the sweet release, I'm broken open. In the sweet release, I'm broken open. In the sweet release, I'm broken open. Found a chest to put my cloak in. Sweet release, I'm broken open. In the wind, the word, the wood and wire. In the wind, the word, the wood and wire. In the wind, the word, the wood and wire. Hearts blushed open round a fire. Wind and word and wood and wire. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm singing birds and bones and constellations. I'm singing birds and bones and constellations. I'm singing birds and bones and constellations. Seeing clean through the eyes of patience. Birds and bones and constellations. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I've got soup and bread and pearled barley. I've got soup and bread and pearled barley. I've got soup and bread and pearled barley. Thank you so much. All right, thank you very much. Is that right?
It's the first song that she's done today. Well, I don't know what you did before you got here. First song she did here. Okay. All right, good. Thank you. Thank you again, Shawnee. Jeez. All right. And now, today, we continue our problem series that we started last week. Why? Because as we discussed last week, we all have problems. And I don't know about you, I can only observe my experience, But I know that my problems didn't magically disappear in the last 7 days. I even got some new ones. I had made some progress on some other ones, but I got some other things going on. And not only are a lot of them still here, some of them have been hanging around in one version or another for quite some time. Anybody else? Yeah, right. And as we discussed last week, everybody, and I mean everybody, has problems. Some people seem to have very overt problems, but and it's another thing. It appears to be part of the human condition to run into problems. But in order to run into anything, problems or anything else, we must first be running, right? And I love this quote from John Waterhouse from the Thursday night book study group, The 5 Steps to Freedom. He says, when we move forward, a much greater possibility exists that we will arrive somewhere other than where we have been. Yeah, I think there is a greater possibility that we will arrive somewhere other than where we've been. But that's kind of all of life, isn't it? For it's in the moving forward of our imagining, the moving forward of our thinking, the moving forward of our physical location, we start to identify the limitations in our thinking and our expressing. By trying to leave our comfort zone, by trying to leave our paradigm, by start to identify the limitations of that paradigm. And we can spend all the time in the world, or maybe I should correct that, we can spend all the time we have imagining potential obstacles that may or may not pop up, and we start pushing and keep pushing in this new direction. But until we actually get started in the direction or get started with this endeavor, does all the planning in the world become somewhat relevant? Yeah, don't get me wrong. Planning is good. Planning is important, okay? But to imagine how we're going to handle, some disruption that may come up, some obstacle that may come along, it's good to know that. But all that only becomes relevant when we're actually processing and navigating an actual problem or an obstacle. Not to mention that when we do go further on up the road, when we go further on up the road, we're going to have a different, somewhat expanded perspective about belief and what moving in this direction actually looks like. And when we get further on up the road, we'll have new ideas and we'll find other resources available to us that we didn't even know or consider relevant before. Theodore Rubin shares, the problem is not that there are problems, the problem is expecting otherwise and thinking that having problems is the problem. Well, wait a minute, Walt, I had deja vu of that quote because you used it last week. You're right, I did. It's too great of an idea that we think, oh, I've got a problem. It's like, okay, you got a problem. We all got problems, right? But I think it's an important enough idea and concept to repeat. Because our goal, again, it's not a life without problems. I think that's what we are taught, but it's really not. The real goal is to have a good life whilst we are processing and navigating our problems along the way. The goal is to have a good life without repeating the same problems over and over and over again. The real goal is growth in all ways, and part of that growth happens by transcending the level of thinking and expressing that creates the same or similar problems. Again, I think a lot of times we are sold that if only you'll buy our product, if only you'll use our service, if only you'll do whatever we want you to do, which usually give us money to do that, if only you'll do that, you'll have a life without problems. A perfect life has no problems. Anybody that's telling you that, I'm sorry, just to be blunt, I think they're lying. And I think they know they're lying. But that's another thing. Again, that's not the goal, a life without problems. Life is a series of moments experienced, and then choices made or reactions given to the experience as cause, and then the result of those choices as effect. Where it gets intricate and a little bit convoluted in our observation of ourselves and each other is that that progression from moment to choice to experience and result is happening layer upon layer upon layer upon layer in different permutations of completion of that pattern. So one thing starts going through that moment to choice to result progression, and then another thing, the next thing comes along after it and starts another progression of moment, choice, and result, okay? So there's a lot going on a lot of different layers all at the same time, just in case you haven't noticed. And the interpretation and meaning we assign to the overall tendencies of those patterns of moment to choice to result equate to our description of our life as being good, bad, or boring, whatever. But the really cool thing about any of this is that at any time we so choose, at the beginning or the middle or the end of any of those cycles, we can interrupt that progression by reintroducing a new start to a new pattern and a new cycle. We don't have to just wait until the inevitable disappointment shows up at the end that we can see coming. By the time we can foresee the disappointment, we are starting to understand and adopt the possibility that there is another possibility. And that is the beginning of change for the better. How long it takes us to instigate that change is either a personal problem or it's a personal solution. So, the title of my talk is, oh my God, is he just getting started? No, I'm actually quite well in at this point. But the title of my talk is, but my problems. And I use that voice intentionally because I hear it in my head. The whiny voice, the complaining voice, right? And we tend to think that our problems are unique and different than anybody else's problems. Nobody in the history of humankind has ever been through what I'm going through, not the way I'm going through it. And so we think our problems are unique and different. And you damn right. Your problems are unique and different to you. Your problems are unique and different to you. My problems are unique and different to me. So we start to mistakenly believe and build a paradigm that says, oh, that means I must require special, unique, and different solutions. Because whilst not every single problem is completely of our own making, every single problem is being experienced individually by us. And I think where we get off track is we get too easily distracted with trying to find blame, place blame for our problems, instead of using that same energy and attention to actually working on solving the problem. I love me some cold water. It's good. My wonderful teacher, Dr. Kennedy Schultz, back around 1988, or probably 87, he taught me that any problem can be identified into one of four areas of life expression. Everyone. Every single one. It's either health, relationship, money, or work. And in all the decades since then, I've had 3 million problems since then, right? But every single one of them has fallen into one of those quadrants. Now, sure, some of the problems straddle a line here and there. A divorce, say. A divorce can not only be in relationship quadrant, but it can also bleed over into financial and even health and work. You know, there's not like clear demarcation between the things, and it's absolutely in one quadrant because we're only living the one life at a time. But it's helpful for us to start to categorize the problem to help us start to clarify the approach and processing and navigating our way around, through, and beyond it. Again, being able to identify and clarify the problem helps us direct and allocate resources in an intelligent way towards a successful navigation beyond it. Henri, who must be a French guy, Henri Bergson, shares, to exist is to change is to mature is to go on creating one's self endlessly. See, no matter what is or isn't going on, there are solutions to every single problem. Easy for you to say. Yeah, it is. I just said it, and I'll say it again. No matter what is or isn't going on, there are solutions to every single problem, period. Even the long-held, stubborn ones that won't ever seem to go away. A lot of the problems we face recur and keep popping up like whack-a-mole. I did that. I solved that. No. Okay. They keep recurring because we're not really, honestly, sincerely dealing with the problem and the root cause of the problem. We're struggling to manipulate the symptoms. We're struggling to manipulate the effects of the cause, instead of more intelligently putting that same energy and attention towards creating a completely new cause. And we keep exacerbating the problem. When that happens, that's a sign that our solution isn't working, no matter how logical it seems. Know how many other really smart people that we admire tell us that that's the solution. It's time to quit trying to hammer the square peg into the round hole. Yeah, you can make it go, but you're going to spend a lot of time and energy and chip up a lot of wood in the process. And I think one of the greatest examples, one of the greatest examples is the way governments try to solve problems by just throwing billions of dollars at something. Oh, that's okay, we'll allocate some of our budget to that. Throw money at it, set up committees to study it, assess the blame to the other party as requisite, and not only makes the problem continue, it can make it worse, and it can provide a career for those people that are hired to solve it. Obviously, that hasn't worked. It doesn't work now, and it's not going to work in the future. This is what Abraham Maslow meant when he said, if the only tool you have is a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. Can I get a hell yeah on that one? Yeah. Okay. In our individual life, as in our collective life, the answer is always much simpler than we try to make it, man. It is. We want to complicate it. Make our version of the story unique and different to us because life events that came up in our past, okay? We want to do that so we can get some sympathy, so we can get some attention, so we can get some cooperation, or maybe get some money from other people. Yeah, sometimes it does take money to get things started or moving or acquire whatever time or tools or people you need. But even when you get the money, it still requires a new approach, a new perspective, and a new paradigm than the approach and the perspective and the paradigm that created the problem. And we're going to get more into that next week, so stay tuned. Our friend and founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, shares, life always becomes to us the particular thing we need when we believe that it becomes to us that particular thing. Right. Think about this. Life becomes to us the particular thing we believe that it happens to become that particular thing. It's actually quite quantum when you break that down. Good job, Ernest. If I do say so myself. So this week, when you find your ego getting all involved in the justification of your existence of your problem and the continuation of your problems, remind yourself and each other that all the understandable reasons and all the social support you may receive for having and voicing that problem don't really do anything to successfully process and navigate the problem and move on. Remind yourself, whilst there are endless variations to our problems, because we live in an infinite universe, they all fall into one of those 4 categories I just told you: health, relationship, money, or work, okay? Or some blend of the two. Also remind yourself that everyone around you, and I mean everyone around all of us, has been spending their entire lifetime processing and navigating these exact same problems, and many of them have already gone through the learning curve. So you are not alone. You're not. You are not unique in having the problem in the first place. Having a problem is not a failure. I believe it's a sign you're progressing beyond what you used to believe and think and try to do. There are tons of other previous people and a lot of navigation that has gone on in a similar enough way, going on currently in a similar enough way, to be relevant to helping you navigate this in your own time, in your own way. We don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. We don't. We don't have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Poor baby. We don't have to go back to square one all the time. We are already well on our way to the solution as soon as we can clearly identify the problem. And by utilizing the wisdoms that others have already figured out and worked out along their way, we're actually accelerating the collective evolution for the benefit of all. Look, none of us need a special secret custom solution. We just need enough clarity, we need enough encouragement, we need enough imagination to move the next little bit around, beyond, and through this step along the way. And we are always supplied with everything we need to take this next step, whatever it is. What will we need 10 steps from now? Tell you what, that's going to become very relevant after you take the next 8 or 9 steps, but not now, okay? Our very problems, Ernest Holmes shares, our very problems then are merely situations which confront us with the opportunity for greater self-expression. Can you change your paradigm of I've got a problem to I've got a greater opportunity for self-expression? Time's gonna pass. The process you're using, law of cause and effect, quantum field, whatever subconscious mind, whatever you want to say, it's all going to be operating the same way. It's just how you start approaching it. And when we do solve this problem, because I'm telling you, we always do solve it in one manner or another, when we do solve this, we'll move forward a little stronger, a little wiser, a little more proficient in processing and navigating things just like this. It's like a practitioner friend of mine says, Mary Wild, she says, I'm going to use parallel faith. I said, what's that, Mary? She says, parallel faith is I take the faith, the success I had in another demonstration, solving another problem, and I can bring that same energy, that same proficiency, that same faith that was built from solving that, and I can bring all that over into this, because you're living the same one life, and once you learn how to do it, you can just keep doing it, and you can improve on the ways you do it, like Mary does. Anyway, when we do that, then we can do what so many before us have done to our benefit. Then we can offer the solution that worked for us as a potential solution that might help others just behind us on yield learning curve. And we can create that energy and that dynamic so that the next time, and there's always going to be a next time, the next time we run into some limitation or some obstacle, next time we'll be more willing to ask those just ahead of us for some advice, for some perspective, for a helping hand. Because I was thinking about this week, and I was like, life's about give and take. And so I thought, well, yeah, but that's kind of coming at it from a compromise point of view, which I think is helpful in relationships. But I think that saying life is about give and take is more about giving help and getting help and then eternally paying it forward. That improves our current experience and what we can believe possible from here, and that also improves what we're able to share with others from the vantage point of having already moved beyond whatever they're going through as well. And that prepares us to keep moving forward through all that is still yet to come. And so it is now. All right, thank you very much. All right, now let's look at our weekly affirmation, which is on little cards by the front door, if you're so inclined. And also on the top of page 6, let's say this together. And it says, "Any problem I experience is not totally unique to me. Plenty of others before me have solved this. Plenty of others are solving this right now. As I share what I know with others, others start to share with me, and the whole mix grows, evolves, and we all on to greater things." Let's just go ahead and move on to greater things. Take the shortcut. All right, let's give ourselves the gift of our good attention. Maybe take a deep breath or two, or close your eyes, or reposition your physical form, and just know that you are able to get present in this moment in a way, wherever you are, whatever's going on around us, what's happened before this moment, what's going to happen after this moment, but this moment is where we get present. This moment is where we get aware. And this moment is where we realize that as we start to get enamored with a new idea and start to move and pursue that idea with our imagination, we use our imagination for what it's divinely designed to do, which is to help us preview what to expect next. And as we do that, we start to run into our previous beliefs, our previous limited ideas about ourselves, our previous limited ideas about each other, our previous limited ideas about life in general that may or may not be relevant right now. But we're free to realize that our problems are not unique and different. Yes, they're our experience, but so many people before us have been through these same or similar enough kinds of things to help us see a different possibility. There are so many people right now going through the exact same problems in the 4 areas that we're experiencing. And we may have one area where we're pretty solid. We're really understanding flow and intention and opening and opportunity and possibility and expression. And there may be an area where it's like an eternal recurring whack-a-mole. That's a scientific term. But we realize that plenty of people are working on or have solved this exact same thing, and we can utilize that wisdom. We can utilize that perspective. We can adopt it for ourselves and make it relevant to what we're doing, how we're changing the approach to moving around and beyond and through this. As we do this, we improve our life. We're able to help others get that same perspective, that same sense of possibility, that same encouragement that helped us. And we can pay that forward in more meaningful ways than ever before. And by doing that, we can solve the little things, we can solve the big things, we can move on to greater living in all ways, and move on and evolve collectively onward, upwards, and spiraling into greater good than ever before. We love this wonderful teaching in all the ways it shows up in our life and reminds us of the truth of the spiritual principles at work in our life, in everyone's life. We love this community of like-minded individuals that love and support each other in all the ways we get to do that throughout the week. We love this beautiful life and this beautiful day, this beautiful morning and this time together to gather and know a greater truth about ourselves and a greater truth about life. And to take this with us as we move forward in this day and in the rest of our living, to bring that sense of positivity, that sense of love and compassion, that sense of infinite possibility into our interactions that happen from here on out. We love this wonderful time together, and we deeply appreciate and celebrate this time with deep gratitude and celebrating the changes that have started and continue on. Loving all this, we release it completely into the law, which has already begun to reflect back to us new ideas and new possibilities and new interactions that help us engage life in a deeper, more meaningful way than ever before. Loving it all, we release it completely, as we say together. And so it is now. All right. And now we come to the part where we support this wonderful work we're doing together. We take the value we receive from the world for the value we bring to the world, and we pass that along with love and appreciation. As we do that, let's say our giving affirmation in the middle of page 6. And it says, "Divine love consecrates my gifts. They go forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper. They are evidence of my commitment. They do their good and perfect work and return to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is now." All right. And now Shawnee is going to come up and do a couple more songs for us. Are you performing anywhere we can come see you?
Not super soon, but my Wednesday series at Captain Quack's is still going, and the next one is on April 29th, and Susan Gibson is my guest
Okay,
that
cool.
night. So.
Don't you have a house concert next week?
Yes,
Oh,
I am. It's Lee Barber's birthday show on Saturday night, and there's a house concert happening there. He's playing with Scrappy Judd, and I'm a special guest.
all right, cool.
That information is somewhere. Yes.
I thought it was
Okay.
proprietary or something.
Yeah. No. Okay. Still gonna say my big story for after the song. This is a song called "The Unimportant Hour," and also, I've been thinking about what about Bob this whole time. Every time you say problems, y'all see what about Bob? To put it plainly, I have problems. And then he gets the Richard Dreyfuss writes him the prescription for take a vacation from my problems. Yeah, anyway. Yes. But the unimportant hour, I think the idea for this was kind of that we can tend to think that, like, oh, if I'm sitting in traffic for an hour, like, that's wasted time, or like nothing good can come of this, or we sort of save these special, like, this time is important, this time isn't kind of thing. And I think there's no hour that is unimportant in this life. Tectonic plate, and I'll shimmy myself underneath the light weight of your body, and maybe an earthquake will rise up and unbreak my heart. Ooh, I am a ship in the night, and I'll scurry out over the salt and the brine in a flurry. I'll get as close as I can to you during the dark. Ooh, I am a seed in the slow and sweet. I am a face in the clouds, and I'm laughing 'cause I play my heartstrings out loud. And you're clapping for me, and I wonder if your strings would play well with mine. Thank you. I don't know if that crying when I flirt sometimes line is as funny as I think it is, but yeah. Works every time. Okay, so yeah, totally normal week for me. Totally normal Wednesday. Just went to the House of Songs in Austin, Texas, and just played music for her and hung out with the Crown Princess of Sweden. So that was cool. She was really sweet, and yeah, you never know what you're gonna get into with that there House of Songs. No, she's never been here before, but yeah, it was. I guess they started out the morning telling Governor Greg Abbott what they think about the Greenland policy, and then ended up at the House of Songs, just listening to some music, and yeah, and then she flew home. So. It was great. If you want to see the picture, I've got it on my phone. My hair looks amazing of no effort of my own, so I was really grateful for that. So because of that experience, I have been thinking about this song that I wrote. I had the opportunity to travel to Sweden with the House of Songs 10 years ago. And yeah, we co-wrote with a bunch of songwriters over there, and we kind of wrote a whole set of music and played it for the mayor of this town and this, and an amazing opportunity. But I'm that person that's like, that's terrifying. I would rather stay home and hide in my bed than go do this incredible thing that's just been like given to me. So there was a lot of feelings leading up to that show of like, oh my God, I have to play the right songs and I have to pack the right clothes and everyone's gonna hate me and you know, all this stuff. So this is my song about going to Sweden and facing the fears. The things I find scary aren't probably scary, but still it's okay that I'm scared. I know that it's worth it, I'll tell you it's worth it when I find my way home from there. In 3 days I'm leaving, I'm going to Sweden, and nothing can sweeten the deal. But what will I bring, love, and what will I sing, love? I want them to know me as real. No, I'm not ready, I'll never be ready to do things I never have done. But life is too short not to be a good sport, and the hard things can be the most fun. In 2 days I'm leaving, I'm going to Sweden, and nothing can sweeten the deal. But what will I bring, love, and what will I sing, love, and how will I pay for my meals? The free breakfast in the hotel, you just stuff your pockets and you're good all day. The Swedes are just people and I am just people. Their country is beautiful too. I'm sure they will like me, I'm hoping they like me. If not, there's not much I can do. Tomorrow I'm leaving, I'm going to Sweden, and nothing can sweeten the deal. I know what I'll bring and I know what I'll sing, but I still feel asleep at the wheel. The worst that could happen is not gonna happen. I really should put it to rest. It's not what I say and it's not what I play, and it won't matter how I am dressed. So goodbye, I'm leaving, I'm going to Sweden, and nothing can sweeten it's okay, whatever I feel. Goodbye, I'm leaving, I'm going to Sweden, and nothing can sweeten the deal. I know what I've got, and I know what I'm not, and it's okay, whatever I feel. It's okay, whatever I feel. Thank you all so much. It's so good to see you.
All right, thank you, Shawnee. Well, we love you, and we're glad you're in Austin, Texas, and not Sweden at this moment. And it's a beautiful thing. I just want to say that one part of your song where you just, at the end of the verse or chorus, you just strummed. It was just really nice little pause to let the idea settle and move on. So, yeah, God. If I like it, it must be good. That's how it works. That's right. All right. I am grateful for our Thursday night book study because spiritual money treatment is not new to me, but it is something that it is a spiritual tool that I do use, and I can use when I remember to use it, like anything else. And I think it's a beautiful dive we're doing into the philosophy and the psychology behind why to do a treatment, not just how to do it, but why to do it, and why the steps are in the sequence they're in, and how they build upon each other. I had some realizations in preparing for Thursday's meeting of something I've done for ever since I started in '87 or whatever it was. So does that mean next year's 4? No, I think it's 80. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But it's just a beautiful thing, and it's a powerful thing that we can utilize. And I encourage you, even if you can't do the Thursday night Zoom thing, get the book, and it's a very straightforward read, and it's good for that. So anybody else have something to share? Gratitude, demonstration? Don't say you're glad she's out of town, because I know that ain't true.
How did you know? No,
I'll call you out.
I'm not glad she's out of
No,
town. In fact, my gratitude is, despite the fact that she's out of town, Josephine, everybody knows Josephine. I get a little dark sometimes, when the energy in the house just changes so drastically, but I have the tools, to bring myself back to the moment that I'm in, because when I'm thinking about how lonely I call myself in these moments, I realize that is a past thing, and it's also a future thing, because I'm anticipating, maybe a worst case scenario, like what if she never comes back, kind of thing. I go there, but I come back. And that's the thing right there. That's what I'm grateful for. That I can bring my consciousness back to the moment at hand, where like the 4 dogs that we're, that I have to take care of by myself right now. Sometimes I look at them and realize how much they love Josephine, and looking at them is almost like looking at her memory, how she interacts with them and all that stuff, it all comes piling on. But at the same time, I know this is a temporary change. I'm grateful that she's having a great time, and I'm really having a good time, but I don't like being alone that much unless I'm doing something that's really a one-person kind of thing to do, and then I get real focused on that. But I bring myself back to my own empowerment and intuition, I really do rely on my intuition in these moments because I'm guided to the things, you know, some of them are distractions, sure, but some of them are really things I have to take care of, and that gives me a feeling of fulfillment. And I can take that and be grateful, you know, that I have in my own empowerment. And it goes back to childhood garbage, you know, that I'm aware of, and I'm grateful for that awareness. So it all builds into a stronger empowerment sense, and just the joy of reunion that will happen later today, you know, that kind of thing. So I anticipate that moment.
What do you got for that?
Except there's only $1. Oh, I'm sorry.
The bookcase is, it was great when Shawnee was there.
Yeah.
All right, she'll be back another time. So. All right, anybody else have something to share? Yeah, Karen?
Last week, I let you guys know about this rental property of mine that I've been putting lots of physical and mental energy into for the last several months, and I finally decided to just trust my instinct and put it on the market rather than trying to rent it out again. Just be done with it, even though the market's not very good and Corpus Christi is really low on water, and all these things would denote that this is not a good time to try to sell a house in Corpus Christi. I trusted my instinct and my wonderful real estate agent, and I put it on the market, and I got an offer that was reasonable, and I accepted, and we're on our way.
There you go. Yeah. And the thing people don't realize, the market is this, the market is that, and it's all the other stuff. It's real and relevant to some degree, but you just need one person that says that's the place for me. Yeah, let's go. And here's what I agree. So.
Just to interject a metaphysical concept to the real estate market, and this is what I've always was said to me, and I've always said, and I've been in real estate 23 years, the market is.
Yeah.
Oh.
The market is. It is what it is.
One of the great truisms I got taught in Atlanta by a very seasoned agent, she said, there are no emergencies in real estate. Everybody has, blah, 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 this is, you know, it's like, no, it's
I
not.
would argue with that technically. Frozen pipes are an emergency.
Well, but her point was about a closing being delayed or whatever. You know, we think it's the things. So there's bigger fish to fry on anything. Why is it fish? I don't know. Anyway, all right. All right, we'll move on to the opportunity for application in your life. Otherwise known as homework. It says, what perceived benefit are you gaining from retelling your story? Whatever that may be, there's a bigger idea and experience available for you right here and now. Get more interested in that. Next week, we will be talking about problems. Spoiler. But we're going to talk about the golden key. What if there was one thing that solved every problem? Boy, you better be here to hear about that one. And our musician will be Heath Allen, a wonderful Pepperland player dude, amongst many other things. All right. The book study group is on Thursdays. I encourage you to look at on the back table. There's a March calendar for events here at the Human Potential Center. Take a look at that and decide if there's something in there that speaks to you that you're curious about, and check it out. There's good things happening. Let's say our closing affirmation on the middle of page 7 as we get ready to enjoy this beautiful day. And it says, I am an expression of infinite, divine, creative intelligence. Knowing a joyful serenity awaits my recognition and acceptance, I take this moment to deepen my understanding that I am perfect, whole, complete, and dynamic. My soul is forever established in life, love, light, power, peace, beauty, and joy. I lift my eyes to the divine in me those around me, and in all of life. I walk out into the world with an uplifted heart and a mind open to the infinite creativity of all life. And so it is now. All right. Thank you very, very much, and we will see y'all next time. See y'all.